What do we need as the intro?
Just, let people know what we're doing here. Say hi.
Hi, everyone. We're having a little chat.
The news is that you might be able to hear some new Mosa Wild songs early next year.
Wow.
Ooh,
That's
2021.
Yeah.
You should give the people some insight into your recording setup at home, Jim, because I think that for these songs that are going to come out, one of the most interesting things about it is how it all kind of has come together.
Sure. Oh, look, I'm not trying to give away all my secrets. Because you know us producers, very precious with our techniques. No, I'll be honest. Look, I haven't really got a legit setup. It's pretty. It's it's pretty humble. What I've got a little Focusrite that I use, for everything, and I do all my vocals using this great little mic. Yes, I don't know if you.
What's that?
Right here.
So your iPhone, is it, mate?
That is my iPhone.
Do all your vocals on an
stuff.
iPhone? That is.
Yeah, so Mr. Apple, if you're watching, which you probably are, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Be great if we could get some sort of deal happening.
I think Ben was in equal amounts impressed and kind of devastated that all the vocals were done on an iPhone, because well, when you get to hear them you can let us know, but they sound pretty rich. Sound pretty expensive. And for two of the songs that are coming out, most of the drums were recorded with 3 microphones, one of them being an SM57. In fact, I think for one of the songs it's basically 2 SM57s and a D112, which is like, the budget kind of, it's less than the regular budget drum setup. So yeah, that was been interesting.
That's like sound great though.
Yeah,
they do sound good. I guess it goes to show that, by having these kind of challenges to overcome, you end up kind of creatively working around them and ending up in a spot maybe that you wouldn't have ended up, if you've had access to a nice studio and, loads of time and all that kind of stuff.
Well, this is it. I think we just had to make a decision that, of course we're in a bit of a tricky situation. Everyone is, but that's not going to stop us from making music. And more than that, making music that we're actually going to put out ourselves. I think the second that we gave ourselves permission to actually to do it for real, it just opened up a door for us to really push ourselves and be a bit more creative, because when you haven't got that many tools available to you, it kind of forces you to use what you've got to the best of its ability, or to the best of your ability anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
Which has been really, it's been a fun endeavor, because we all actually feel pretty excited. These aren't just because we were restricted by what we had to use. It doesn't mean that the quality is bad. I mean, if anything, it feels on the other side of the spectrum, it almost sounds better to us anyway, or to me, than the stuff that we've done in fancy studios.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's definitely a lot to be said for that. Maybe it sounds truer to what we all want it to sound like in our heads, because it literally is us doing the majority of the work.
I think maybe we are. Do you think we're control freaks when it comes to getting things to sound exactly as we want? I kind of feel like maybe we are, and this has just been a sort of slow realization of that. That even if the sort of the fidelity isn't the same as when you're recording in a super expensive studio, the fact that we can just fiddle with things until it sounds how we want it seems quite a successful process.
Yeah, and quite
Yeah,
often we
definitely.
want to know like what all the other options sound like as well, and that's quite a lengthy process. Like if if someone pulls up a filter or something, it's like I think collectively we kind of want to know what all the options sound like before we settle on a decision. So it's like just being able to sit in your bedroom and kind of do that on your own, without any time restrictions, or without feeling the pressure of being in a studio is it's a weird luxury, I guess.
Mm.
Yeah, I think we're all, as much as we are like maybe control freaks and stuff, we're all really polite, especially like when we're working with like maybe someone we don't know too well. So like we'll be like, oh yeah, sure, we'll use that sound, or that sounds great, but maybe like deep down we're crying because it's not like it's not actually
Yeah.
what we want it to sound like, or and I think just being able to do stuff in isolation has kind of given us a bit more of like a quiet confidence, just to be like, you know what, it doesn't matter what room you walk into, you just need to make sure that you leave being happy. Like, because at the end of the day you've got to put your name to these songs and live with it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. And you've got to capture something in the process. Like, if you're sat in a studio and you're feeling, pressured, or it's a time sensitive situation, and then the next minute you've got to go track drums or something, you might not actually be in the right headspace to bring the right energy to the table for a song. Whereas when you're at home, you can just decide if you want to record drums that day or not. Like, maybe I could just do it tomorrow because I've woken up and I don't feel too great, or today I feel amazing and I'm going to cancel my plans so that I can actually record drums, or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is like the similar thing with like the recording vocals on the iPhone. It's like right there, right in front of you whenever you need it, and it allows you to capture the vibe and energy that you're feeling at that moment, which is kind of what you're going for, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a weird, it's like that limitation kind of gives you a weird opportunity to kind of just allow yourself to take time and do it when it feels right.
Yeah.
I think like capturing an idea in its infancy is the key. Like as soon as you're excited about it, record it immediately, because ultimately that's like what counts. Is just like the energy that is in that like recording, and if you can get it and if you can capture it, you're laughing, because that's all we're ever chasing, is to make sure we can get that magic that happens, like when we're all together, or when an idea comes and everyone's just like smiling. It's like that's what you want. You want to capture that magic,